stands as a recognized figure acknowledged by the United States Department of Justice Office of Victims' Crime for her relentless dedication to supporting victims and survivors, as well as raising awareness about domestic violence. Tiffany embodies resilience and serves as a fierce advocate and unparalleled firsthand experience. Accumulating nearly 2 decades of speaking experience, her voice resonates with a profound understanding, empathy, and insights into the intricacies of the intertwined and sensitive issues surrounding domestic violence. She is the founder and CEO of TLH Coaching, where she guides emerging and aspiring speakers and business owners and entrepreneurs on how to use their voice to launch, scale, generate revenue for their businesses. She is also the founder and president of the organization Positive. Positive is a community that serves to support and empower women with the confidence to live beyond the shame, the doubt, and fear that they face. Positive also implements initiatives that educate and raise awareness about the issues of domestic violence. Tiffany, anywhere's fine. Welcome, Tiffany. Our next panelist, Joy Boudreau, is the lead planner and owner of Joy of Events Group, a business she founded with her husband in 2019, based right here in Camp Hill, Pennsylvania. Originally, she's from Cameroon. Joy and her family immigrated to the United States in 1991, settling first in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, before moving to Bloomsburg. Joy got her start in the hospitality industry at the age of 12 when she took on her first job selling and serving pizzas at her local town fair. She went on to nurture her love of customer service, attaining a bachelor's degree in hospitality and tourism from New York University in 2009. Currently, in addition to running her business, Joy holds a coordinator of institutional events position with Penn State Health and Penn State College of Medicine Development and Alumni Relations. She recently attained the Event Industry Council's Certified Meeting Professional designation in October of 2023. She resides here in Camp Hill with her husband Tyler and son Carter and their dog Dora. Joy. Thank you. Stella McConna is a dedicated and compassionate family nurse practitioner with a wealth of experience in the healthcare industry. She holds a Master's of Science in Nursing from Walden University in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing from Pennsylvania College of Health Sciences in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Additionally, she earned an Associate's in Arts from Harrisburg Area Community College here in Harrisburg, PA. Stella is the co-founder and partner of Planet Home Healthcare and Staffing Agency, a CHAP-certified home healthcare agency providing comprehensive care services to clients in Dauphin County and the surrounding area. As the RN Care Coordinator, she ensures seamless case management and top-notch patient care. Previously, she served as the Director of Nursing at Gardens at Blue Ridge, overseeing rehab floor admissions and patient care. Stella is actively involved in professional and community organizations, including the American Nurse Association and the Harrisburg Area Community College International Students Club. She's the Vice Chair Lady of the Kenyan community in Pennsylvania, has passion for mentoring, is evident in everything that she's dedicated to guiding high school and college students, helping them achieve their goals. Her commitment to excellence, compassion, and dedication to her profession and community make her an aspiring healthcare professional. Thank you, Stella. And last but certainly not least, Lola Williams is the CEO of Bespoke Designs by Lady London, is a professional designer with over 10 years of experience in creating unique and custom-made designs. She also owns a dress shop at 109 North 2nd Street in Harrisburg, the dress shop where she offers dry cleaning and tailoring services. Lola is passionate about empowering the next generation of designers, tailors, and she teaches sewing to teens and youth in the community. Lola. So ladies, we have gathered this group here to ask them a few questions, and we will also do a question and answer period where you will be able to engage with them as well. But the first question that I'd like to leverage at any one of you ladies, feel free to chime in, is what factors led to you choosing the career or the business that you are currently in? I'll start with you, Tiffany.
I have come across too many individuals who are not clear on their business. So if you're doing business and you introduce yourself to someone, in 90 seconds or less, I should know who you are, what you're doing, how you do it. And all too often, I've come across people who aren't able to clearly, concisely define their businesses. So as a speaking coach, I help business owners, entrepreneurs, large scale, as well as generate revenue in that way.
Excellent. In keeping with that thought, because Tiffany brings us to my next question, which is, what is a brand and how do you define that brand? I guess I'll start with you, Lola, since we have a little expertise here with you creating your own dress shop. Would you define what is a brand for us?
Being a brand is basically being marketable, creating an image of yourself, putting your best foot forward, networking, creating a goal, and definitely delivering. You just want to pretty much put your best foot forward. I have my own brand and it's dedicated to a lot of different areas of expertise, helping children mainly, helping individuals in domestic violence, just being able to provide a craft, something that people can create anything that they can do, and basically that's it.
Yeah. Thank you for that. As we talk about being our own brand, and as Tiffany mentioned, being able to clearly express what our brand is, who we are, and what we offer, a lot of times for women in business, we have to define that for other male counterparts and other businesses as well. So talk a little bit about, if you wouldn't mind, the importance of us scaling our businesses once they've been created, and how do we use resources to expand?
Sure. So scaling your business is very important. We talked about here about starting a business. The best time to start was yesterday. The better time to start now is today. That can be big or small, but taking the step is the step. Your business doesn't have to be gigantic right off the bat. And in many phases, a business is a roller coaster because sometimes it'll be up, sometimes it'll be down. So we talk about scaling your business. Scale it to what you have the capability to do in the moment. Keep that big idea of what you want it to be in your head, but don't put the pressure on yourself to get to that point in the immediate year, in the immediate year two. Again, they talked about a business plan. A business plan helps you put those goals into an action plan. That way you understand in the different phases what your business could be, and that's what scaling is about. In each moment, your business is at a different scale, whether it be small, be it large, and you use that plan to help you to get to where it needs to be.
Excellent. Again, as we talk about scaling, branding, and being able to clearly define who we are, a huge part of our success is typically linked to the resources that we're able to acquire and how we reach out to others. As more women venture into business, what is one necessary resource or what is one necessary element that you think they should leverage? All you.
Sure. So I believe as women we need intellectual resources. Having a skill, gift, or talent to start a business is one thing, but running and sustaining a business and having a business mind is a whole other thing. Get the knowledge, abilities, and proficiency to run a business. Network and seek others who have already done what you do and emulate. I will say don't just start a business. Talk to people that already have a business. Find out how they started. Find out what you like to do and get more knowledge of what exactly you want to do before you start. You don't want to start anything blindly, to be sincere, because on the way you're going to get stuck. So always seek resources. Talk to the people who have already started their business. Get as much information as you can from them before you start a business.
Thank you. Resources aren't always tied to a financial standpoint. Sometimes the folks that we network with and we meet become valuable resources to our success. So Tiffany, I'll ask you, as we talk about financial advancements and movements, are there any missteps that you think we make as women entering business? And if so, how could we avoid some of those?
Sure. As far as financial missteps, I would say not sewing back into your business. Not ensuring that before you may be working and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want any woman in this room to believe if you are an entrepreneur and you still have a full-time job, that it is necessary for you to leave your full-time job in order to work your business.
Yeah.
Sometimes we step out and we venture into entrepreneurship and we have full-time jobs, but we don't have that stability. Don't make anyone or allow anyone to make you believe that it is necessary for you to leave your job, because you will fail. You will fail. Because when you're first starting out and you're talking about financial resources in your business, look at what it is that in your household, whatever expenses that you have to maintain. And when you step out as an entrepreneur, you may not necessarily be able to maintain those expenses. So I would say that's one of the biggest missteps. We listen to other people. We see how other people have done things, and we just, as women, I'm going to do it the same way. It doesn't work for everybody. Do not be afraid to be different. Do not be afraid to do it your way. And if you have a job, keep working if you need to.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. Awesome advice. In keeping with what Tiffany said, which is right on, at times we often compare our successes and our wins to what others are doing, but that oftentimes does not prove to be successful. So Lola, I'll reach out to you. What do you think happens or should we do when we've received bad advice financially, and how do we recoup?
Receiving bad advice. Sorry, you're catching me off. The best thing that you can really do is just do your research before you start business, knowing your target market, finding financial backing. One of my main missteps was trying to be self-funded, thinking overhead and everything was so easy to do, and like Miss Hall said, looking at other people and thinking you can do it too. It's easier said than done. Once you're in it, you're in it. Like I said, the best thing you can do is find funding, do your research before you go into business, and just emulate your business plan. Having a solid business plan is definitely key. You can find that funding with the right and proper resources, business plan, reaching out to the proper channels like the Community First Fund, different businesses, different banks to find that funding. The main thing you want to do is make the best financial decisions possible.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Lola. I'm going to actually ask this of Stella and Joy as well. Just share with us a piece of financial advice that you received that you felt was just helpful and influential. What is some good, sound financial advice that you would give to others?
So I will say treat your business with the same diligence and discipline the way you do your own personal finances. I'm sure we all have like budgets that we stick to in our houses.
Yep.
Put all those expenses down. The same way you do in your house is the same way you should be doing for your business. Having a budget serves as a guiding framework for your business. Prioritize spending and identify areas for growth by establishing and adhering to a well-set budget. You not only mitigate financial risks, but also set the stage for sustainable profitability and long-term success. So any business definitely needs a budget. Otherwise, if you fall off the track, you start spending money because you've seen you've been paid, checks are coming in, you go get a car, Mercedes, Benz, you're like, oh, money's coming in. Before you know it, that money is gone, and you're gonna be going back to zero. So always have a budget and stick to your budget. And every so often, always go back, revisit your budget, make sure it's working for your business, and if it's not working, change some things around so you make sure it's working for your business.
That's awesome advice. Joy?
I'll continue off of that, talking about budget. You also want to talk about forecasting. You want to know what is coming in, because in the present time, you know, what's coming in might be different from what's coming in a few months down the line. A lot of businesses are seasonal, so you might be making more money. For instance, like my business is event planning, specifically focused on weddings. So I know that through, I want to say May through October is going to be a good chunk of when my revenue is coming in, but have I put money aside for the winter months, for the fall, winter months, where in Pennsylvania it's not so popular because it's cold outside and a lot of people want outdoor weddings? What am I doing to make sure that I'm forecasting and doing the right projections to make sure I'm going to have revenue to guide me through those months that I may not be bringing in profitability? So continuing with budgeting, but also add forecasting and knowing your projections and knowing how much revenues that you're bringing in throughout the year to make sure you have adequate rainy day funds to cover the times when business might be slow.
Yeah. Again, finances are a small but necessary part of our business, right? You can have the vision and the dream and need the capital to make that happen, and then people become our next biggest resource. So, tip for you, what do you feel are some challenges that minority women face in business and some ways that we maybe can overcome those?
Sure. First and foremost, y'all heard Joy say May through October is big business time for her. So make sure y'all connect with Joy, because May through October, that's where the money's at. Her best friend. She's making money May through October. But as far as minority women, some of our biggest challenges is each other. I believe that we put more pressure on each other in how we should be showing up and what we should look like and how it should be. In this room, I want to challenge every woman to meet 5 women that you do not know and have never met and have not talked to before you leave.
That's good advice.
In a space like this is a safe space for minority women. This is an opportunity to network. So get outside your comfort zone. Get outside of that thing that's holding you back, because it's probably holding somebody else back too. So be willing to show up as yourself. Bring your highest energy. Nobody wants to be around anybody with low energy. If you tell me you're in business and your energy's low, I don't want to come do business with you.
That's right.
Because I don't want that low energy. You should be excited about your business. You're an entrepreneur. You're doing something as a minority woman that some women are not doing, are afraid to do. You got to lift yourself up a lot higher as a minority woman than we do. You got to be proud. You got to show that and not be afraid to show it. So my challenge, again, meet 5 women. Don't y'all all come rushing to me. But meet 5 women. Introduce yourself to 5 women, because that's where your superpower is. It's in this room and it's in your networking.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. Yeah, for sure. Tiffany also basically demonstrated something that I don't think we talk about often: mentioning and promoting someone else. Raising up someone else doesn't take away from what you have going on and are doing. And as women in business, the need to compete does not mean with one another. So I appreciate the fact that you're able to highlight someone else. That's something that we all should be able to do. So all of you ladies, I'm going to give you a chance to say or let us know, what is something that you would tell your younger self? If you could go back and kind of set yourself up with what you know now, what you've experienced, what is something that you would say to your younger self in preparation from where you are now, Lola?
I would tell my younger self that if you're passionate about it, pursue it. One of my things is I didn't start till I was a little older, although I had a passion for it since the age of 11. I let the obstacles just hold me back from actually starting for years. Once I started in my passion, I really flourished. Another thing that I would tell myself is to be a constant student. Constantly learn from your craft, constantly study your craft, be receptive to learning from other people, be receptive and open to just a lot of things, different changes in fashion, different changes throughout time. Also expect to fail. That's one big thing. For some reason, I didn't expect to fail as much as I did starting, being self-taught, but fail with grace and keep going. That's one thing I can say that I did, is although I failed a lot, I just kept going.
Yeah.
Fail with grace.
Yeah.
You definitely want to know your market, do your research, and don't be afraid to take risks. Another thing is to enjoy the journey and celebrate the small milestones.
Yeah, awesome advice. What about you, Stella?
So one thing I'm going to say is you have to believe in yourself. Keep telling yourself that you can do it. Others have done it, they are still doing it, and they're still planning on doing it. So always believe in yourself when you wake up in the morning, say, hey, I can do it. I'm also going to give you a cheat sheet for 4 P's. One is be patient. Success doesn't just come in one day. You got to build it. You got to build it, so be patient. Also be persistent. Know there's a price after everything. Keep working hard. One day you will get that price. The other P is passion. Stick to what you like to do. You know, go for what you like to do. Don't just do something because somebody else is doing it. Go for your passion. Personally, I was in nursing. I'm a nurse, and then I upgraded myself higher and higher. So it was easier for me to transition from the healthcare field to healthcare business because I was already in the business. I already know what's going on. So that's my passion. That's what I wanted to do. Also, find your own passion and build it from scratch. Stick to it and make sure that you stick to it and make sure that you're getting to where you need to be. The 4th P is personal development. Keep growing. Each step empowers you. Once you grow one step, you want to go higher. So keep growing, get more knowledge, start your business one step at a time. Every step you grow, you empower yourself to get more.
Wonderful. What about you, Joy? What are we telling our younger Joy?
I'm just like Lola. Don't be afraid of failure.
Nice.
You know, a lot of times reasons people don't do things, and I know the reason why I didn't go into it, even though I again loved it the same since I was young, is afraid to fail. In addition to that, don't let other people's fear of your failure govern your, actions. Because if you can be afraid to fail, but then if you're supporting cast, and when I say you're supporting cast, your family, your friends who are close to you are also projecting their doubts on you, that even, it compounds, it makes you even more scared to do something. So if you really believe in yourself and they said, if you have to believe in yourself and you have to have a passion for what you do, go out and do it. It's your life. Don't let it be governed by other people.
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Tiff.
I would have told, are y'all ready?
I'm ready. I'm taking notes.
I would have told little Tiffany with the little sandy brown hair, the little pigtails, the big teeth. I would have told little Tiffany, the one that people bullied when she was little, coming up through high school, be confident. Yes. I would have told her, don't be afraid of what they're saying about you, because it doesn't define who you are. Because one day you're going to realize that wigs and weaves and makeup can cover up everything that they pointed out was wrong with them. It wasn't you, it was them. And I would have told little Tiffany, don't worry about it because you're going to marry the high school quarterback.
Ooh. Also good business advice, right? Some might find that as even sounder business advice.
Yeah, so just remain confident, because those things that people say or said, they don't define you. Like, your confidence is everything. It means everything. And let it shine. Let people see it. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't change you. Don't worry about the stuff that doesn't matter. One day, everybody that was bullying you, they're going to be fat, they're going to be ugly, they're going to be single, and you're going to be married to the quarterback.
In true girl fashion, she just puts it all out there. So each of you ladies, I'm going to wrap with our final question so that we can take it out here to you guys and answer some of your questions. But I just wanted to kind of, in keeping with our theme, right? Our theme here has always been, or has been for this particular session, that we want folks to take the initiative to start a business. Start slow, start unsure, and just start. That's been the theme. So for each of you, I'd like for you to just take a moment to chime in and let us know how we can encourage minority women in business to do just that, to start today, yesterday, as Christine said. What are some of your thoughts on how we, and keep with that theme? Stella.
I would say networking, network. You stay home, people are here, they are learning, they are getting something, they are picking something from the people who are here. Get out there, socialize, talk, ask, get information. You sit down there, nothing's gonna ever come to you. You gotta go get it. So always network. If there's an event going on like this, do what you gotta do. Call off work. If you really need it, I'll do what I need to do to be here. So network, talk to other businesses, talk to other women. Let's empower each other. We wouldn't be here if we didn't empower each other. So for the ones who are starting and you need help, please feel free to talk to the people who have already been in there. Don't be afraid, be confident. I was afraid coming in here this morning because I was like, how am I gonna speak in front of all these people? But now I'm here and I'm speaking.
Hey.
So be confident and keep pushing on for your dreams because one day they'll become true.
Wonderful. Thank you, Stella. What about you, Joy?
I would just follow up with what she says, network, find a mentor in your area, even if they're not in your area of expertise. Try to find a common ground. There is some way that that person can help you as far as entrepreneurship, even if they're in another profession, another area of expertise. There has to be some common ground that you can ask for advice, what to do. The main thing you can do is network. Even if you haven't started, find someone who has started. Tell them your dreams. They might be able to just point you in the right direction. You don't have to start and find someone to network in your area. Just be confident enough to tell people what you want to do, what you're about to do, what you're dreaming of doing. No matter how far in the future it really may be. Somebody's going to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And that all goes into networking.
Yeah, awesome. Time for you, Joe.
Write down those ideas, write down those ideas and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask your questions. Don't be afraid to, share your ideas with, others who might be in the business already, like they were talking about networking. But if you don't take action on those ideas in your brain, then they just stay an idea. In order for them to become something, you have to take that action. So in addition to networking, take action. Write those ideas down, but take action on them. Don't just let them live in a notebook. And if one idea doesn't work, you move on to the next. But we all have ideas, we all have our minds. We're always constantly thinking, always constantly growing. I watch Shark Tank a lot. I love Mark Cuban, and if you know his story, you knew he went through 1 million ideas in his head before he became a billionaire and the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. And he'll tell you first, keep going through those ideas. Fail. They said fail gracefully, but take action on those ideas, or you never know what may have been.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you.
To piggyback what she said about Mark Cuban, share your story. Your story may connect with someone else. So I didn't begin as a speaking coach. I began as a survivor of intimate partner domestic violence. I was stabbed 7 times. And as I began to share my story, and the way that I shared my story, it drew people in. And people were amazed that you were stabbed 7 times and you're able to talk about it from a healed space in the way that you talk about it. So as I shared my story more and more, I got into coaching. And I've been coaching, but I've continued to share my story. And realizing that sometimes it takes time. So the stabbing happened, this year will be 19 years ago. Last year, I spoke at the Capitol Rotunda, delivered a keynote for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I am in the process of negotiating several contracts to share that story in spaces. So don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to share that thing about you that makes you passionate about what it is that you do. Fear that comes along with being a woman and being a business owner and being an entrepreneur and being afraid to step outside of your comfort zone is the same. So why would I not share my story? Why would I not take those skills, those gifts, those talents, and those abilities, same thing you have, and put them into the business and start the business today? Do not be afraid. Each of you who are entrepreneurs, there is a reason why you started your business. Tap into and share that reason. Because again, you never know. We were having a conversation, just so happened two of the people at my table were nurses. Well, guess what? I'm a nurse as well. Connected them with someone else at the table because of what they wanted to do. But imagine, had I not shared it, they wouldn't have got connected or they wouldn't have known. So don't be afraid to share your story. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Don't be afraid to let people know and ask for what it is that you need.
Perfect. That is perfection. It kind of wraps up our question and answer directly for the panel, but I think Tiffany mentioned representing and being your true and authentic self in your brand and your business and who you are. So now we would like to hear from you. This is your opportunity to ask our lovely table any questions that you may have. Christine, where are you? Our roving reporter. She's supposed to have a mic.
This question is actually for each one of you. How did you decide to start your business? And were you working full-time when you decided?
I didn't decide to start my business. I honestly, I didn't decide to start my business. My business decided to pull me into it. Because the more and more that I shared my story, or the more and more that people found out about my story, they would ask me to do things. So I don't put on anybody your religion, but I will tell you that as I prayed about it, I know that it was my assignment. And nobody else could fill this assignment but me. So I didn't choose it, because if it was up to me, I'm a nurse. I would go take a contract somewhere and be working as a nurse full time, because it's not easy. It's not everything that everybody makes being an entrepreneur or a business owner out to be. So trust me, I didn't choose it. I just stopped fighting. You're very welcome.
What about you, Joe?
So I was going through a bit of a career transition. During the time when I started my business, I was engaged, and I had recently been laid off by the Alliance of American Football, which was a startup football league that began around 2018. And I needed to fill a void, and I was applying to constant jobs and just not getting what I wanted. And I'm like, what am I doing? What do I really want to do? And I paused and said, this is not what I want to do. And I was getting married in this area because I'm from Pennsylvania, and I realized that there was a big disparity between wedding vendors of color. I didn't see a lot of myself out there to choose from when I was selecting vendors I wanted to use for my wedding. I've always wanted to be in event planning and event design, and so I knew it was something I wanted to do. I enjoyed planning my wedding from start to finish, and I just enjoyed planning events, and so I was like, it was a no-brainer. I used 2019 to really, do a lot of the branding aspects of my business, and then of course the pandemic hit, and again, this comes back to letting others' opinions govern what you do, because a lot of my family in 2020 was like, oh, it's, you're going to be an event planner, it's 2020, it's pandemic, what are you thinking, there's no events, you can't even gather. So that was a big wall that I hit, but I kept going and said, even though I can't necessarily host big things, there are still things that I can do, and I persevered, and I'm happy I did, but it started from really pausing and deciding what I wanted to do in life.
Awesome. Lola?
What I do started as a hobby. I would take requests off of Facebook, but I wouldn't really say that I was in business. It all started as personal requests. Hey, make me this, alter this for me. I worked from home for about 5 years before finally opening my own business. As far as getting my own shop, what really started me, I just had a passion since the age of 11 in fashion, knowing that the garment that you wear tells a story about who you are without having to open your mouth. That's basically what fashion is. I wanted to help people put their best foot forward, look their best, feel their best. And one day I picked up a sewing machine, self-taught, a lot of failure, a lot of things that I didn't know. It was before YouTube was really prevalent, and you can go to YouTube University. It was all trial and error. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going back in my head. Just something, it didn't always work out between the refunds and everything. But failing gracefully, keep going. And now I had the confidence that I can really execute any type of garment from avant-garde, couture, bridal, prom, outerwear, pretty much anything that can be made in the sewing machine. With the sewing machine, I've made from hats, coats, really anything. So it was about getting the confidence to really say, okay, this is what I do in business. It's no longer a hobby.
Nice. Very cool.
So my idea of starting a business started when me and my friends, who are basically my business partners right now, we were in the car, carpooling, going to school for our BSN, and we were like, how about, after our BSN, how about we start a business? So we started putting our thoughts and ideas together, and that's how basically we started. We worked for ourselves for a long time because we didn't have finances to be able to hire and pay people. So we basically worked for ourselves to gather capital so that we can have enough in the bank so that after we are paid, we can start hiring people. But that's how it started. It started small, and every day we have just kept on, growing from where we began. But that's how it started.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another question?
Hello, ladies. This has been amazing. I work in the marketing space with small businesses, and I just want to find out from all of you, or some of you, whoever wants to answer. It's easier said than done on paper than in real life, right? So it sounds good when you're saying all the stuff, but I would like to hear like a practical way of how you've managed to stay in business. Like what have you had to do? Are you advertising every day apart from the networking? If I can't go out, how am I staying in business? Because according to like the stats by small business, it takes 3 years to become profitable, basically. So by year 1, most of us are like, I can do this. I don't have customers. I don't have one client. You have one client, they're not paying you at least for 2 or 3, but you don't like, or you have your family telling you blah, 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 right? What have you done to ground yourself and to stay in business and keep going? Are you marketed? Are you out? What exactly are you doing?
Tiff, all you.
Sure. So I have a schedule. So what I do is my business is twofold. So I have TLH coaching and I have the organization Positive. So what I do with TLH coaching, in January I held it was supposed to be 1 day, but it snowed. So it ended up being a workshop for speakers. So there were 9 speakers on that workshop. From January to June, I worked with those 9 speakers. Right now, from April till October, I network with Positive. So when it's warm out, I like to be out. I can coach from home. I can coach virtually. So January to January, that's where I got my clients at, through that workshop. So April till October, I'm speaking. I'm networking. I'm opening doors to get my speakers into other rooms. In October, well, actually, this is a shameless plug. April 20th, I'm hosting another speakers workshop. So what I'll do is that second batch of speakers who come into that one-day workshop, I'll work with them the rest of the year. October, I shut down. I don't travel as much. So October through the end of the year, I coach. Does that make sense? So I work with who I have and I get them in spaces. You don't pay me any more than what you paid me to participate because I don't believe in that. You know, I believe once you invest in me, I have a responsibility as your coach to get you in some spaces. So I do some work, I have some fun, then I do some more work.
Nice. What about you, Joy?
For me, it's all about networking and collaboration. So, I'm an event planner in the event industry. The event industry has so many different types of vendors: florists, bakers, decor, venues. And so a big part of what I need to do is I need to meet those people out there. And in this region, there's tons of them. I connect with them, uplift them, they'll uplift me. It's important for me to get on preferred vendors lists because a lot of times when couples or family members are hosting events at different places, they like to give out specific lists of who people should work with. So in addition to networking and collaborating and uplifting other vendors out there with the expectation that they'll uplift me as well, I'm also on social media trying to promote my brand and promote my business. That looks like creating a content calendar and trying to be intentional about the different posts I'm making. They don't have to be all the time, they just have to be a way for people to understand what you're putting out there, what your services are, and the type of person you are. Because in my business, you have to understand who I am as a person if you want to work with me and make sure I'm a good fit for you. It's just the same I mentioned to Alyssa that I, going out, have understood in my business that just because somebody reaches out to me for services doesn't necessarily mean I have to work for them, because I need to make sure just as much as they're interviewing me that I'm a good fit for them, yes, they need to be a good fit for me, because you don't want somebody also draining your battery life because you've got too many things on.
So true. All money isn't good money, huh? All right, Miss Lola, can you talk a little bit about that? Some tangible actions that you may take that kind of keep you going. Social media was mentioned.
Yeah, definitely social media, content. Even if I'm in between orders, I'm making content, posting, letting people know what I do, why I do it. Fashion shows are really big for me. I've been to fashion shows from Cleveland, Texas, Philly, New York, Atlanta, almost every state, California. Fashion shows are really big. That allows me to put my best foot forward in fashion because I do custom designs and people are usually asking me specifically for what they want. I get to put my best foot forward when I'm doing fashion shows. That's when it's my designs, what I want to make, no matter how elaborate the design may be. I get to show who I am through those fashion shows. Other than that, like they said, Facebook, networking, not being afraid, like she said, tell your story and what you do. Yeah. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Stella?
So it also depends on what business you're doing. For example, I was in the home care, home health field. You almost need a little bit of everything. You need your human resource, you need your accountant, because you need someone to keep up with your bookkeeping, making sure that your finances are right and they're adding up. Marketing is huge. There's so much competition out there, especially in home care, home health right now, and that takes us back to branding your business. Make your business what makes your business different from others. Yeah. You gotta keep on improving your business, make it different from what other people provide, your services, maybe get certified. That way you are providing like the highest quality of services. That's what is gonna pull your customers to you. So it just depends on the business. You have to identify what business you're doing and what exactly does your business do. But marketing is huge. We do social networking, Facebook, LinkedIn, put some pictures there, tell people what you're doing. But for the most part, what you offer people is what is going to make people come to you. Very, very important. So always strive for the best.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Something that wasn't mentioned that I just took notes. You can clap. That was awesome. From Jen Gilberg earlier, she mentioned AI, and that's something that we also want to start to utilize, right? Because that is the wave, that's kind of the direction we're moving in. I also took notes that she talked about photographs. Take pictures of things. You could share that later with people. Words don't often always move folks, but at times a visual, an image that they can correlate to you and your business would be helpful. And lastly, maintain contact. Text messaging, email chains. If you have phone number information for folks, send out mass emails. Keep yourself present and in the face of those who are doing business so that you're always recognizable and you're someone that they readily would think of in those different areas of service. Are there any other questions from our, microphone, come on. Christine, you are doing a bad raving reporter job. Go ahead.
Hi, ladies. Thanks so much for what you've shared so far. So my question is, what has been your biggest challenge in business and how did you overcome it?
Let's reverse order. Stella, we'll start with you.
Biggest challenge, I would say maybe financially, because sometimes it's so hard to get loans. I believe we had a discussion about you go to a bank and they tell you don't have a good credit history, and they're not able to offer you a loan. So that can be challenging, especially when you've already hired employees, they are working, and you need to be able to keep up with payroll and be able to pay them, because once you don't pay them, Department of Labor is on you, asking you why do you have people working and you can't pay them. So financially it can be a challenge, and it has been a challenge to our business. But the more you grow, the more you establish yourselves, the more you build your credit, the more you're able to venture out there and be able to get financial resources to be able to help you with your business.
Nice. Lola.
I would say being self-taught, making the mistakes, but bouncing back from them. Staffing has been an issue. Once I opened my own business, it was basically just me working 6 days a week. I recently had a little one a few weeks ago, working 6 days a week, morning sickness, but getting through it. If anything, make sure you have the help to do what you need to do. Also, financially, being self-funded has been a big obstacle, but you just keep going. Networking is important, and that brings in the money. The more you network, the more people refer your services, the more people come in, the more money you generate, the more things pan out. I was literally crying to a business coach my first month, thinking I was going to close the door before I even opened the door. Literally in tears, like I don't even know how I'm going to pay my first month's rent. But just getting through that, our business has been open for a year now, and I'm actually flourishing and extending my lease now.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you. You, Joy?
I would have to say just being everything to your business. When I say being everything to your business, you have the idea of what you want to do for your business, but now you have to be your human resources person if you're hiring staffing. You have to be your accountant to manage your payroll. You have to be a little bit of your legal team to do contracts and whatnot. So just navigating all those spheres. You have to be your marketing coordinator, do your advertising and social media content. Now, there are professionals who do all those things, but if you don't have the capital and the means to afford it, then you have to learn on the fly. And these things aren't easy to learn. These areas aren't easy to navigate. Building a website's not the easiest thing. Learning the different ways to advertise yourself on LinkedIn is different from the different way to advertise yourself on Facebook, is different than advertising on Instagram. And you are one person trying to market what you are professional at, which is your business, but at the same time, you all of a sudden have to become a professional at understanding your numbers and profit loss statements and how to file your taxes to the state and how to file your taxes to the federal and what's an EIN number. And so, the biggest challenge for me was trying to figure out all of those things. And that's why, initially we talked about scale, because you have to give yourself grace in order to understand how you can scale your business. You can't scale right away because you're not going to be a pro at all of these things right away. You have to give yourself time to either learn these things or find a resource who can teach you these things in order for yourself to be successful at your business. And you also have to give yourself grace to understand that you're not going to know everything right away, and it'll come in phases. So yeah, trying to be everything all at once to yourself until you can have the resources to afford those things and get yourself some help.
Yeah, nice. Good stuff.
I would say the biggest challenge has been to find women safe spaces. Because, again, this is me, so we're going to be honest. You get in spaces with women, and when you function at a high level, when your vibration, when your energy is high, people are attracted to that. And they may end up being low vibration, low energy, bringing people. And when they realize how high your energy is and what it takes to function and operate at the level that you do, they fall off. Or they hang on without truly understanding that when I say I need to separate myself, I need to separate myself for a reason. And not that, it's not that you don't think that you're better than them. It's just different. Everybody, I'm in a space right now, again, just being honest, everybody's a motivational speaker. No, you're not. Everybody's a coach. No, you're not. Everybody's going to show you how to make $1 million, and they haven't made $1 million. So that's one of my biggest challenges, those people that you welcome into your space, as well as finding those safe spaces for you, those safe spaces where, you can take your shoes off, take your wig off, and just be you. And again, understanding when you function at a high level, there's just certain expectations that come with that. We're not about getting over on people. No. We're not about hustling people. And as women, again, finding those safe spaces where we have like-mindedness is one of the hardest, most difficult things.
Yeah. So true. And we can create those spaces, right? That's something that we definitely want to be able to do for one another.
As I'm listening at you all talk, you're really business to consumer, right? Business to customer. In your growth strategy, have you thought about business to business, like working with larger corporations and businesses, and also the procurement opportunities that we talked about? Because the government buys everything. And when I look across, I think about you could design the uniforms, right? We're doing a project for the Sixers. You could be a uniform designer. You could work with the state on providing health care for seniors aging in place. You could be the preferred person who works at the vendor for like a specific business. And then there's so much that you can do. You can go into Comcast and work with their executive leaders around coaching. Have you thought about that as a part of your growth strategy?
I speak at Bowie State University in May. I speak for the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. So I'm in some spaces. UPS was a major one. UPS was like a major, and when you say that, what's ironic, even outside of the coaching, they wanted a motivational speaker for a meeting. People don't understand that when you talk about corporate, it's not just about, coming in and coaching. It's about, and what that allowed me to do being their speaker, like you said, it allowed other opportunities, to come in. What's funny with me is, or ironic with me, like I said, it happened 19 years ago, and I've been speaking since 2006. I stepped away from it. As I've come back into it, bolder, older, wiser, now I have the organizations coming. And they're like, we need your voice.
Yeah.
Like, we need you to get out here, and we need you to talk to some people, because some people don't see it from the aspect that you do. So I'm open to where y'all need me at. So definitely.
Anyone else?
I've definitely thought about it. It's always something that is in the back of my mind. I'm actually registered on the PA supplier vendor board. It's one of those things, to be quite frank, where I need to be intentional about making time to make bids, like they mentioned. And I actually took notes today because it was a reminder for myself to, hey, you know, you're already registered, you did the work, you did that a few years ago, but you weren't intentional about following up with it. You just did it. And so that's another thing about do and have intentional action. So it's not just doing it, it's not just registering for it, but following up with the opportunities that might be made available for you, or, you know, you don't have those opportunities. So I made a note to myself to be intentional about following up on that opportunity.
Awesome.
And you can go to our website.
Do all those things. I mean, big business doesn't have to be the competition, right? They can be a blueprint. We can use them to further our cause. Anyone else want to chime in on that?
Like she said, being intentional, for me, the obstacle is having confidence.
Yeah.
Knowing where you fit in the area. I've researched the vendor site a few times, but not really knowing where my business would fit in or what service I could really offer. That's where I've fallen short. I've thought about going to bigger manufacturers, selling some of my coats that I make in the winter, following up, having the confidence to put that foot forward. That's where I fall short. It's not like I haven't thought about it, but gaining the confidence to really put yourself out there.
Do it today. Stella?
Yeah, I was going to say, of course, there's so many resources out there, including, you know, the state. I'm sure they have so many resources for us to venture into. But sometimes the challenge is, how do you venture into those resources? Who do you talk to?
Yeah.
How do you get access to those resources? How do we sign up for the contracts? Who do we talk to? That's where the challenge is. But, you know, we are here, we are listening. I actually learned about the PA supplier that you have to register with. So that's a good thing that I'm gonna try for my business to see if we can venture and be able to get more opportunities with the state and even maybe federal department.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any other questions from our audience?
Okay, I have one question. Let me introduce the male voice into the conversation. All of you are in the service industry, and one of the biggest challenges is to put a price on your service. So how did you navigate that challenge?
Wow. Putting a price on your service. Let's talk about it, Ms. Tiff. Do we undervalue ourselves? We do not undervalue ourselves.
We very undervalue.
Definitely.
Listen, the speaking coach just got tongue-tied. we very undervalue our services. So I'll share this with you. I just increased my keynote speaker fee this year from $6,500 to $10,000. And it was the scariest thing that I did.
Yeah.
Because I was just afraid. I am in the process of negotiating a $10,000 keynote right now. But had I not done it, and there's people out there that's making more than me. Like, I have people who say 10 grand's too low.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm comfortable there right now.
Yes.
But you can't be afraid.
Yes.
You know, so many people see the value and the worth of what you do. And I'll be perfectly honest. Me right here, right now, this is not me in a keynote setting.
Yeah.
This is, you will not get this, you will not get the broken conversation in a keynote setting. Oh, I'm going to deliver. So you'll know what you're getting for that 10K. But not being afraid to know your value and know your worth and know what you bring. People will find money to do what they want to do.
Yes.
So don't be afraid to charge your price. Somebody's going to pay it.
Yeah. I think all of us live here. Anybody, if Giant ever changed a price for you? No. They named their price, and that's what it is. So don't undervalue, and it went up, right? So make sure that we aren't undervaluing. Anyone else want to talk about setting prices and expectations on the value that you bring?
I will.
Yeah, go for it.
Because it took me a long time to really be able to value myself. And I will say Miss Christine that invited me today is one of my first customers that made me realize the value of what I was actually giving. I charged her a reasonable price, and she left me a check and let me know my worth at that time. And that's what really helped me start doing what I was doing, valuing myself. If she's going to pay it, that means it's actually worth what I'm doing. And I thank her for actually being the first person that showed me my worth. She put the check face down. I didn't even see it till she left, and I'm like, wow. She actually, okay, maybe I am onto something. Maybe I do have something. When there's fast fashion places that you can find things cheaper, dresses much cheaper, getting into your head, like thinking you have to compare with those prices. But someone told me there's the haves and have-nots. Custom garments is a luxury item, and that's one thing that I had to get into my head. I'm not making something fast fashion, something cheap, something that somebody else seen, something that somebody else can wear. This is actually made specific for you, what you chose and your sizing.
Yes.
It shows your story, your personality. So that was one of my biggest challenges, is finding my own worth in what I was doing. And again, thank you, Miss Christine, for being the first person. That my services are valuable.
Awesome. Anyone else? Stella?
I mean, in home care, home health, really, you don't set up prices for your services. It's basically the state that is paying you. So whatever they give you is
What it is.
what it is.
Yeah.
So you don't set up prices.
Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, there's one more. Where not Micah? Oh, there it is.
Well, thank you guys. We really appreciate you, because it's not easy to leave your time and be over there and talk. And we really at least pick many things from what you guys have been doing. For me, myself, I have a personal question.
Yes.
There's many roadblocks when you are talking about business. Like me, I have passion for business, and I've been doing business. I'm an investor, buying property, fix it and resell it. But that's not my passion. My passion, I'm a caregiver too, and I love to have home care services. But the problem there is that I've registered this business in 2021 to get a license. I've tried many ways. Nobody to tell me this. Oh, this is how you can do it. I even go to the Department of Human Resources. They say, oh, you can't see anybody. So that's what brought me here today.
Yes.
I need help. I need someone to say, oh, this is how you can do it.
So, I think, you're welcome. I think there are several answers to this question, but of course I heard home health care, so Stella, I'm coming to you. But I do feel like what we were shown and shared today, we're going to make that available to everyone, because a lot of those slides that we were shown would be very helpful to breaking down some of the struggles that you may be experiencing. But I'll let Stella talk to how do you begin? Where do you start?
With home care, home health, there have been so many changes in rules and regulations. When we got our license, they didn't have so much restrictions as they do right now. I don't know how far you are in the process as far as getting your license. I would definitely want to know what you've done, what you have, how far you've gone. Have you sent in any paperwork to the state? And at that point, I can be able to, I have to come to you like a doctor, find out what's going on, what symptoms you have, what you need, and then from there I can be able to direct you like, what do you need to do?
Awesome.
I'll give you my card.
A visual representation of networking, and we didn't even set that up ahead of time, right? But thank you to these ladies. Are there any additional questions? Do we need to take any follow-ups before we go? Oh. One more.
Hi, ladies.
Hello.
So I actually started a TikTok and Instagram back in 2019 before the pandemic hit. I'm really big on mental health. Me and my friend here, we're both nurses, but I really focus on the mental health part. I feel like a lot of us as healthcare workers go through so many different changes, and a lot of times you have to leave everything at the door and come in and handle your business. A lot of times you're dedicating so much to your patients and giving, but do you really take time to give to yourself? And I know that literally, like, sometimes when we wake up, we check our phone and we look at, our Instagram, or we look at TikTok or whatever. And a lot of times I would always send like quotes to like my friends and try to give them something inspirational to start their day and something positive, and I'm very, very passionate about it. So it's been really slow because sometimes it's like, again, something you guys have already touched on it, but a lot of people have come out as like mental health advocates or doing a lot with the mental health, especially since COVID. So I just wanted to know like a tip for having a social media page, just some quick tips that you think that would actually help my page as well as my friend's page, Lorraine Aggie, because she's a very big advocate in healthcare. Just some things that you think that would help.
With social media pages, too.
Sure, so that's the other part of what I do as a speaking coach. So my organization is called Positive, Positif, which is a play on the word positive. It is my name, Tiffany, and the word positive. So what I do with Positive as a nurse, besides raising awareness about domestic violence issues, is I promote the power of positive thinking. So some workshops that I present at, some speaking engagements are focused on health and wellness. I literally have a private group, and it's called the Positive Vibes Tribe on social media. Every day, no matter how I'm feeling, I feed into them. Something quick, it doesn't have to be, anything major. It could be something that I saw somewhere else. But I make sure that, I'm consistent. And I believe, I'm not sure who the presenter was earlier, but one of the things, honestly, ChatGPT, I speak into ChatGPT exactly what it is that I want. So I'll tell ChatGPT, create 30 days of positive, inspirational quotes based on living a positive life on purpose. And that's what I do.
Nice.
Don't make this difficult.
No, I used to post every single day when I was in nursing school, and
that was the worst time.
Right, but I felt like because I just have so many stored in my phone, but I would just because I'm already getting up and I'm prepping for my day, so I'll just immediately shoot it out. So I did see some progress with that. But everyday life and then kicks in. I still have I have a lot of quotes just sitting that I need to post. But my page is also under angelic white goddess, by the way.
There you go. Yeah.
Schedule it on social media. You can schedule a live on social media.
Yeah.
Just when you schedule that live, make sure you're monitoring the comments.
Yes.
So you can schedule your post out for the week. So it's not like you have to sit there every day and post.
And also do things that are interactive, that force people to come to you and you don't have to do so much of the work, right? Utilize those posts, maybe ask an open-ended question that will drive folks to want to answer and kind of have their friend groups reply and see their replies. Don't always put the work on your shoulders. Allow others to do the work for you. And sometimes it makes social media especially, but AI is for sure good use. Any other shared experiences? Social media is a world of its own, is it not? It really is. It's a great tool, and it can also be a very challenging tool. So I hope that we are all leveraging it. And this is going to be our final question here. Yes, ma'am.
So my question goes to Tiffany. I love your story, and I love the confidence that you have. In line of sharing your story of abuse and violence, recently, I turned 40, so before...
Yeah, girl.
So before my birthday, I was thinking, like, how can I do something to give back to the society on my birthday? So I decided to make a post on Facebook talking about 40 lessons I've learned throughout my lifetime. Would people be interested to read it if I do it? And I got a lot of positive comments from people saying, oh, go ahead, do it. So when I started in January writing all the things that I've been through in life, sincerely, it was like a therapy for me. There were times I would break down and cry. There were times I would just like, is this me? Did I get to this point? And in the process of writing, I fought with myself a lot, like reducing some of the paragraph, hiding some of the stories because I don't want people to know all of that. And that brings me to confidence. Not confident enough to share your story as it is. And I believe I'm speaking on the voices of all of the women in this room. We are our stories. We are where we are today because of the stories we've been through. But we don't share it, we don't say it. And a lot of people are going through that same issues and they don't know how to navigate it. And some commit suicide, giving up on things because we don't share. So I thank you for sharing your story. So when I finally did it, I was convicted by the Holy Spirit to not keep it, but to share it to the world. Yeah. So I contacted Christine, how do we share the story? And she gave me various platforms on how I can do it. And when I did it, people that went through that story, the 14 lessons I've learned, wrote back positive comments to me and said, this is like a book. You need to develop all of this into a book and have people or young girls read through it. But from my birthday to this day, I've just been fighting with myself. How do I go about it? So please help me and help every other woman in this room that they have stories to share. Tell us how we can do it to move forward from this point. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So what I'm going to say to you is if you have a phone right now or you have a piece of paper, take this number down. You can text me and in text EmergeHer so I know where I met you at. The number is 223-214-2700. Now give me at least till Monday. Give me at least till Monday to email, send an email, text EmergeHer and send your email to that number. If you want to know how to tell your story, I will guide you on how to tell your story. Yeah. One of the things that I found is that in sharing my story, people wanted to know about him. I don't want to talk about him. I want to maintain my power. And that's when you said, what do you share? How much do you share? You share that part that made you powerful. We don't want to talk about him. Y'all just being nosy. I don't want to tell y'all that. And then just make it juicy. Make it sexy. Make it look like you came through on the other side of what you went through. Can you imagine if I was sitting here right now 19 years later? Oh, I was stabbed 7 times. You know, I'm not working, no, you gotta make it sexy. Like you came out of that. Same thing with your story. And I'm gonna tell you, 40, them heat flashes gonna start. Hair gonna start thinning, eyebrows gonna start thinning. Hormones is just gonna rage. But you're just gonna become so comfortable with yourself. I'm almost 50. But, thank you. But you're just gonna come to a point where you don't care what they think. Tell the story. Because like you said, there's another woman out there who needs to hear your voice. It might not be my voice. It might not be Joy's voice. It might not be Lola's voice. It might not be, Stella's voice. They need to hear your voice.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that question, by the way. Well, the story of today, the way I'm going to tell it, is a success. What do you guys think? A round of applause for our lovely panel. A round of applause for our presenters earlier today. And I hate to see it all end, but we do need to wrap. So I'm going to call Christine to the stage so that she may give us some closing remarks.
Please, round of applause to Wileen for amazing job. She's my backbone. I cannot survive without her. She was in London just a week ago and I texted her, I said, you better come back on time. I'm like, please, is the London Bridge still standing or it fell already? And she's like, nope, it's still standing. I said, okay, you better be here. Thank you all for staying till this time. I appreciate all of you and I'm very happy that it's been a success. And it's been a success because of all of you. I want to thank our panelists. I've been on their case for the past 2 months 2 months and a half. I mean, they're all busy women, and to have them here today is really, I'm honored. I'm very honored to have them here, and I want to thank our keynote speaker, Regina, please. All the way from Philadelphia, all the way from Philadelphia. That is awesome. I mean, when she said she was going to make it, I kept thinking she would cancel. You know, you are like, okay. I'm like, I don't have a backup plan. What do I do? So I kept thinking, okay, she's going to cancel. I'm seeing her everywhere in Philadelphia. She's going to say she's too busy, but she's here, and I'm very, very appreciative. Please, let's support our vendors that are here. They are small businesses like you. They are local businesses. Please support them, get their cards, get the products, or just connect with them. And that being said, EmergeHer 2024, it's a wrap. Thank you, everybody.